Hi everyone and welcome to GDPR for Beginners from Zero to Pro series on Learning with GP, the only place where GDPR is simplified. I'm going to make videos on each of the important topics covering GDPR. These upcoming videos will be an introduction to GDPR, but as we progress, every topic will have dedicated video to it. So, subscribe to my channel and explore for more in-depth content on the topics. In case you are curious to learn about a topic, you can also let me know in the comments below. In the last video, we talked about who are the key players of GDPR. Today, we will learn what changes are introduced by GDPR. In this video, we will cover the first 4 changes, and in the end, we will take a little quiz to test what you have learned in this lesson. In the next video, we will cover the remaining 3 changes introduced by GDPR. And of course, in the end, we will do a quiz, as it's good to assess and revise. So without further ado, let's jump right in understanding what changes are brought about by GDPR. There were many key principles of data privacy which still hold true from the previous directive, but many changes have been proposed to the regulatory policies. The first change that we will talk about in all the changes that GDPR has brought will be the increased territorial scope. GDPR regulation will be applied to all the companies processing the personal data of data subjects residing in the European Union, regardless of the company's location. This law of GDPR has made it irrelevant what the location of the company is. Nobody, when operating in European Union, is exempt from the rules of GDPR. Earlier, companies would try to evade the previous laws by claiming that the company or server location was not inside Europe. But with this key change of increased territorial scope, GDPR made it irrelevant what the location of the company is. As long as they are accessing and processing European citizen or resident data, they have to follow GDPR and protect data subjects. That is your right to data privacy. The second change is regarding the penalties. Under this law, organizations in breach of GDPR can be fined up to 4% of annual global turnover or 20 million euros, whichever is greater. This is the maximum fine which will be imposed. There is a tiered approach to fines. For example, a company can be fined 2% for not having their records, for not notifying the supervising authority and data subject about a breach, or not conducting impact assessment. A single Wikipedia search using the shown source can tell you how much and how many corporations, including Google, have been fined for not complying with GDPR. This law makes sure that every organization takes GDPR seriously. By the way, don't worry if you don't understand the terms impact assessment or notifying the supervising authority, etc. We will discuss them thoroughly in later videos. Now, the next change that we will talk about is data subjects' consent. The conditions for consent have been strengthened. Consent provides the data subject the visibility to what is being processed, knowledge on how it is being processed, and the power to control their personal data. In other words, the request for consent must be clear and distinguishable and should be provided in an understandable manner, using simple and plain language. It must be as easy to withdraw consent as it is to give it. So no more using of cryptic or mystical patterns to confuse the reader. In post-GDPR era, the companies cannot fool you by giving those long consent contracts and agreements anymore. The next change we will talk about deals with the data subject's rights. Right to access, erasure, portability, and right to rectification. When the data subjects are giving their data, they are given first, right to access. According to this, data subjects can ask the controller if their personal data is being processed, where it is being processed, and for what purpose it is being processed. The next is right to be forgotten, also known as data erasure. Data subject can ask the data controller to erase their personal data and stop further processing of the data. Then there is right to portability. The data subject has the right to transfer their data to another controller if they want to. And then there is right to rectification. The data subject shall have the right to ask the controller to provide them with the rectification of inaccurate personal data concerning them. This is what makes GDPR the first of its kind of regulatory standard that focuses completely towards the rights of data subjects rather than the controllers or organizations. And this is why it stands out of the most, if not all, of the data privacy standards across the globe. There are also other rights such as restrict processing, right to object, rights in relation to automated decision making and profiling. But these rights we will cover in a detailed video about all the rights. Now that we have looked into the key changes that GDPR has brought, let's do a quick recap of what we have learned so far. So, the first in line is increased territorial scope. Then comes penalties, data subject's consent, and finally, the data subject's rights. With this, we are finally finished with our first part of the introduction to key changes brought by GDPR. And this brings us to quiz time. So let's put to test the knowledge we have gained from this video. In this section, you will be shown a couple of simple questions based on the topics that we have covered so far. The questions will have 4 alternatives and 1 correct alternative. Feel free to take your time or go back to the lesson and find the correct answer. You can write the answer in the comment section below. I will make sure to get to your answer. I hope you got all the answers to the quiz correct. In the next video, we will talk about the remaining 3 changes introduced by GDPR, and of course, we will do a little quiz. So stay tuned for more videos. Do subscribe to my channel, Learning with GP, where GDPR is simplified. And with that, I thank you for putting your best foot forward towards understanding GDPR. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me at gunjan.gdpr@gmail.com. So see you soon. Until next time, bye.